No, it's not good.
Okay, usted me dice. Well, first of all, thank you very much. It's nice to meet you. Well, my first question is how do you see the growing up of your characters in this second film? Because I understand there's gonna be a third one.
Yeah.
So, what are the decisions or for this second one and the decisions that you have to make for the third one? But let's concentrate on this one, please. Ladies first.
Please, ladies first. Always.
Well, it was a surprise to me that the film was going to start 5 years after the first one. And, we definitely had conversations about it with the director, writer, Dean DeBlois, and, all the way from what her voice would sound like and how that might change slightly to what she looks like to what she would want in that point in her life with her relationship with Hiccup, with her relationship to the adventure, to the dragons, and so there was a lot of conversation. Vocally, it's very subtle. I mean, I think that they sound very much like what they sounded like in the first film, and that the changes vocally were just as subtle as the features were changed.
For Hiccup?
He's sort of dealing with, I think, something that's pretty universal for a lot of people at the end of their teenage years, beginning of their 20s, which is how do you sort of reconcile finding who you are with what you want to do and what your parents expect of you and what your society expects of you. And I think that that's sort of a balance that, a lot of kids have to deal with constantly. As for the next one, Hiccup at the end of this movie inherits something pretty special. I can't really specify without giving too much away, but he'll probably deal with more grown-up stuff next time.
Do you have conversation, for example, for the forgiveness issue for Hiccup? For example, he forgives a lot of quick their mother.
Yeah.
And obviously Toothless, for example.
Yeah.
It's a great issue, the forgiveness.
You're not wrong. Yeah, that's a very good point. I think that speaks to his sort of, Hiccup is he's a heart. He feels it. He's compassionate. He loves the world. He has very strong feelings about everything. But more than anything, he's a compassionate soul, and I think he knows that everyone's rough around the edges. And as my grandfather said, every dog is entitled to their first bite.
What is, for example, for Astrid in the film, she also managed, I don't know, maybe also in a subtle way, to be now the leader or the companion of the leader, I guess, because he's finding something and she stayed in the community. I don't know.
Yeah, she definitely she definitely gets to go on her own adventure. I mean, once Hiccup, kind of takes off, she doesn't hesitate to rally the troops and really try and come to his rescue. I think the more interesting thing about Astrid's growth in this one is that we get to see the more vulnerable side of her. That because her relationship with Hiccup has changed, now it leans towards the romantic. They still are a little competitive with one another and a little playful and mess around. There's a vulnerability in their relationship, and that is new for Astrid in this film. And so I'm interested to see where it goes in the third one, how far, or if their relationship stays the same, or maybe it'll be completely different the third time around.
What do you expect for the third one, for example? What are your expectations for both of you?
Well, as a fan, first off, I really just can't wait to see how Dean expands the world. That was one of the great treats of getting to read this script for number 2 the first time, was getting to see where these characters that I adore, where they end up, to see this world that he had created, to see more of it, and so, this is very much an act 2, and so I expect some sort of a bit more, maybe a finality to it to a certain extent, but more than anything, I'm just sort of chomping at the bit. I really just can't wait to see what comes out of Dean's heart.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.